Welcome to the Deep Dive. We have pulled together a monumental stack of sources: history, geology, travel accounts, and some deep mythology to give you the shortcut to expertise on one of the world's most unique sites. Today, we are traveling to Pamukkale, Turkey.
It's known as the Cotton Castle, and you only need to see one photo of those breathtaking white terraces to understand why.
It's completely unmistakable.
Exactly. It's in the Denizli province, and it's this place that is, it's so many things at once. It's a natural wonder, sure, but also an ancient healing center and a nexus of some really intense spiritual and mythological belief that goes back millennia.
And our sources today are pulling together threads from all of these different layers. We have geological surveys, archaeological reports, explaining, why priests could walk unscathed into a toxic cave.
Which is an incredible story in itself.
Right. We also have museum details, some historical context on Cleopatra's Pool, and the surprising, much deeper Anatolian roots of the city of Hierapolis.
So our mission is to take you beyond just the beautiful tourist photos. We want to understand the complex synthesis here, how the geology of these life-giving thermal waters fundamentally shaped the spiritual, the medical, and ultimately the political identity of this entire region.
That sounds like a powerful convergence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start with the feature that gave the site its iconic name, Pamukkale. It literally translates to Cotton Castle, right?
Yeah.
Pamuk for cotton, kale for castle.
That's it.
For those who haven't seen it, just describe the sheer scale of those white cliffs.
They are truly magnificent. When you approach, it looks like this massive cascading series of snowy fields and pools, but they're absolutely solid.
Wow.
These are unique travertine terraces, and their formation is the result of, continuous geological activity that's been going on for over 14,000 years.
14,000 years. That's a scale of time that's just hard to grasp. How exactly does the Earth create something that looks like snow out of water?
It all comes down to temperature and chemistry. You have these hot mineral springs that are constantly emerging from the Earth. Temperatures range from a really balmy 35 degrees Celsius up to a boiling 100 degrees.
Okay.
And this water is just saturated with calcium. That is the crucial component.
So as the water flows down the steep slope, what happens then?
As it flows and it starts to cool, carbon dioxide is released, and the water basically loses its ability to hold all that dissolved calcium.
So it has to go somewhere.
It has to go somewhere.
Right.
It forces the calcium to precipitate out as calcium carbonate, which is the same mineral that forms limestone. This then gets deposited layer after layer, creating those brilliant, almost blindingly white layers and channels. It's a continuously changing geological sculpture. That's why experts often compare it to other active sites like, say, Mammoth Springs in Yellowstone.
But because it's a living, changing site, the sources mention some really serious conservation challenges.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets interesting. Humanity almost ruined this natural wonder.
They nearly did. This is such a crucial point for anyone visiting to understand. Historically, the area suffered some really severe damage because two large hotels were built right at the summit.
Right on top of the ruin.
Or on top of the ancient Hierapolis ruins, yes. And they diverted the natural thermal water flow to fill their own private pools, which basically just starved the terraces below.
What was the visible impact of that? What did it look like?
The travertine started to dry up. They lost their brilliant white luster and started to get this noticeably grayish hue.
Oh, that's sad.
It was. But since UNESCO designated it a World Heritage Site back in the late 1990s, they intervened. Those hotels were fortunately demolished, and the water flow is now very tightly regulated. It's cycled across different parts of the slope to ensure restoration.
So the strict rules visitors have to follow today,
Yeah.
You have to walk barefoot, right? That's a direct result of decades of misuse.
Exactly. The fragility means walking is restricted to specific paths, and you have to go barefoot to prevent erosion and, staining. You just have to accept that on any given day, parts of it might be intentionally closed or dry, purely to allow the calcium carbonate to rebuild itself.
You can walk these fragile white paths, or, as our sources point out, you can get a much more expansive view. I love that hot air balloon tours are a major feature here.
It provides the ultimate context, really. They typically launch at sunrise, and the balloons get up to altitudes of about 1,000 meters.
Wow.
And from up there, you get this comprehensive, silent view of the entire geological process. You see the white cliffs, the ancient necropolis sprawling out, the city ruins, the thermal pools, all in one single frame.
Okay, let's follow that water flow down the mountain, from those dazzling cliffs to probably the most famous single water feature, Cleopatra's Pool. The water is obviously inviting, but how much truth is there to the legend that this was actually the Egyptian queen's private spa?
Well, the sources strongly emphasize that the story, the one about Mark Antony gifting the spa to Cleopatra for her bathing rituals, is a beautiful, deeply embedded local legend.
But it's just a legend.
It's just a legend. There's no concrete historical documentation proving she was ever there. The appeal is more in the history you are literally swimming amongst, regardless of who used it first.
You mentioned the water is special. Beyond that perfect year-round temperature of about 36 degrees Celsius, what's the chemical makeup that makes it so sought after?
The composition is really unique. It's rich in iron, sulfate, and most notably, it has a very high saturation of carbon dioxide.
And that's what gives it that fizz.
That's exactly it. That high CO2 level gives the water that wonderful fizzy or champagne feeling on your skin when you're in it. It's light and effervescent.
And what about that? That really technical detail I saw in the sources, the surprising presence of radioactivity.
Yes, that detail is often missed, but it really highlights the deep geological activity. The water contains small, measurable amounts of naturally occurring radioactive alpha particles.
Should people be worried about that?
No, you shouldn't worry. The concentrations are minimal, they pose no known health risk, but it just underscores the fact that this is truly primordial water. It's emerging from deep within the earth, carrying trace elements unlike anything you'd find in a modern spa.
That's a powerful reminder. You're interacting with geology on this massive, almost elemental scale. And speaking of interactions, what stands out to me is the idea of swimming through history itself.
That's the visual magic of the pool. While the basin itself is man-made, its floor is just littered with actual priceless submerged fragments of the ancient city.
So like columns and things.
Pieces of temple wreckage, columns, bits of statuary. And this debris wasn't just tossed in, it fell in naturally after a catastrophic earthquake struck in the 7th century AD. The pool is, well, you're literally swimming through a Roman disaster zone.
Did the therapeutic claims of the water come before the Romans, or did they establish the spa culture here?
Oh, it was well established. Hierapolis was recognized as a major therapeutic spa destination as early as the 2nd century BC.
And what did they think it could cure?
The ancient world believed the water could treat, well, just about everything. Heart and respiratory disorders, high blood pressure, various skin diseases. But we do have to caution the listener here. While the historical claims are vast, modern scientific proof for the rejuvenating effects of Cleopatra's pool water is pretty limited. The experience is more historical and sensory than it is medicinal today.
It's clear Hierapolis, the sacred city, was built around more than Roman luxury and physical healing. I want to shift now to that older, deeper spiritual identity rooted in Anatolian belief. Did Roman spa culture just replace those ancient roots, or did it build on them?
It primarily built on them. It absorbed and adapted the local beliefs. To really understand the city's spiritual foundation, we have to look to the Phrygians and the goddess Cybele.
Cybele?
Yes. Long before Rome, this area was the heart of the cult of Cybele, the Great Mother, the ultimate deity of nature, fertility, abundance.
And what made her worship so intense and so defining for this region?
Cybele was the personification of the wild, untamed life force. She was often depicted enthroned, flanked by lions.